What is going on, everybody? Happy Monday to you all.
I love that voice.
It's my singing voice because we have a musician on.
Oh, we do have a musician on today
for our Ask Nick episode. Jack J joins us.
Jack J.
Hot, literal.
Yeah.
Figuratively and literally.
Yeah.
Hot music. Jack J coming out.
Jack J.
He's already big. He's becoming
yeah, from Jack
bigger.
and Jack. And now they're doing their
Working
solo
on
things.
Solo artist, and we thought it'd be fun to have a young man who's active in the dating world and get his perspective and share his thoughts. So really enjoyed Jack joining us, and I think you will enjoy it as well.
So insightful.
We have some great calls.
We do have some great
all
calls.
Of the above. We were nominated for a People's Choice Award. Congratulations to you, dear listeners.
The people.
The people.
The people.
For nominating this podcast. I do appreciate it. Now it's time to vote.
Yes.
Voting is now open. If you haven't been voting, you can. I want you to win this award. This is your award. It's the People's Choice
for the people.
Awards for the people. And all I want,
not for you.
All I want is for you guys to win.
Yeah, it's for them.
So if you go ahead and
you want them
vote
to win
for the Viall files for yourselves.
Not for you.
That would be great. I think you can vote many times, and you can have your friends do it. It's so I selflessly would like you guys to win this award.
Completely selfless.
But so also good. Thank you. I really appreciate the nomination from you guys. I can't thank you guys enough for listening. And we'll just see if you guys win. I mean, really, I'm excited to find out.
See if you guys win. I love it. It's the people.
So I hope you guys are having a great day. And I think we should just get to Jack and these
calls.
Jack, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you coming and joining our Ask Nick episodes. We always like to have the occasional guests on these episodes to help us, round out the feedback to our callers. And we thought it would be great to have you. Obviously, you're killing it in the music game, and we'll get into what you're doing career-wise. But you are someone who, proudly puts out, an open book. You put things out from your heart, even the music you write. And in the dating world, we get a lot of feedback from young women complaining about some of the young men out there.
I get it, man.
What they're doing wrong. And so we thought
what they're thinking. They want to know what they think.
Bring you in, and
it's tough waters to navigate.
Yeah. So are you? What is your current dating situation?
Currently, I'm single.
Currently single.
I've been single for quite a while now.
Quite a while. What's a while?
I want to say since probably around late 2017. I think is when
3 years.
Yeah, about 3 years now. Yeah.
Is there a reason why you've chosen to do that? I think that's healthy, and in the you're in your mid 20s.
Yeah,
24. Yeah.
But yeah,
I've definitely thought about why the reason is, and to me the biggest thing is when I fall for somebody and I want to give them, a big piece of my life, my world, it's I really want to devote the time. And to me, there's so much going on in my life right now and obviously if you really like somebody, you can always find the time. Yeah. So maybe that's just an excuse I'm not playing. But,
see, I like that.
But
because I will say that,
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just been, I haven't found somebody, I never want to stay away from something if it feels right, but I'm not actively seeking, I'm very career focused. I have a million things I'm juggling right now. And so I know that I want to give somebody as much time as possible if I am with them, and I don't know if I can do that while doing all these things that are on my plate at the same time. But maybe that's an excuse, I don't know.
It can be both.
Yeah, it's
right?
honest.
It's it just all depends on the context in which you're saying it.
Of course.
If you're career focused right now, and like you said, also part of it is that maybe you just haven't met that person that would make you go, fuck it, I'm career focused, but I can't stop thinking about you.
Man. And especially in a place like out here, it's just, ulterior motives are so real, and it's hard to gauge why somebody might be into me, why I'm even into them. And I like to think I'm very transparent, and I'm going to be honest and tell you why I like you, and I don't have any ulterior motives. I'm never gonna like somebody just for, you know, if they have like all these millions of Instagram followers, because, you know, it's a.
So what do you do? I mean, you're still a guy, you know, you're still attracted to people,
Of course,
right? You've been single, as of you know.
I feel like this is like two similar stories staring
So
at
what
each
do
other.
you what do you like? So you're dating, right? So how do you go about being good looking, sought after man who's focused on his career but still wants to interact with people? You're going to have women pursue you. How do you go about avoiding confusing them off the bat? So it's just maybe like a mutual hang, or maybe if it's even a hookup, or it's just like, but do you go out of your way to avoid any confusion?
Well, I mean, there's definitely been the instances where somebody will start texting me after, like, you know, maybe we're hanging out for a week and they're like, I really want to bring this to a new level. I want to transcend what this current relationship is. And that's like, this might be a terrible trait of mine, but that's kind of when I back off kind of heavily.
Why do you think that's terrible?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's good. You do need to be selfish in terms of yourself and your relationships. You know, you got to make sure it's good for you and your life. And I don't know. It might just be that I'm not fully into them the way they're into me. I kind of maybe want to keep things surface level sometimes, which maybe that's shallow of me. But, you know, I'm just looking out for you know, the time that I have to divide around amongst the things that I want to do in life. And yeah, man, I don't know what it is.
You protect yourself.
Yeah, maybe I could just protect myself.
I mean, I think
You do the same thing.
Well, I just
like.
don't think you can't.
Are you single right now as well?
Well, you know,
Dating?
this is about you, Jack.
Okay.
But I always say, like, listen, you can't, you know, obviously the phrase "fuck boy" is thrown out a lot in a dating situation for,
Of course.
but we've talked about this when we had the Call Her Daddy women on a while back. You got to be honest with your intentions, right? Seems like you are, right? You say, like, well, maybe it's a negative trait of mine. I don't know. Like, you're allowed to date.
Yeah.
You're allowed to hang out. And if someone, her in this situation, whoever her is, puts herself out there and saying, hey, I like you, what about moving forward? And you're like, here's the thing.
Yeah, like, she might perceive me as a fuckboy, but it's like,
Well, I don't, perception, fine. But the fuckboy comes in where the guy, in that kind of crossroad, right? You're going in, you're just like, you're hanging out with this girl and you like some aspects of her.
Yeah.
She's like, Jack, I really want to spend time with you. And you're like, you know what? I really like you too. In fact, I might be falling for you. However, I'm busy with my career. And then that's where, the guys who plant that seed of, but I have these feelings for you. And if I was ready, you would be the one.
Where they string you along. To
yeah,
the point
you would be
where,
the one. If I were ready to fall in love, you would be the one.
I am far from that. I don't string along. You
Which
know
just
what I'm
makes you better.
That's what I'm saying.
I would like to
That's
think so.
that's
I
a
would like to
subtle
think
but
so.
distinct difference
It is
there.
subtle but
Because then
distinct
that girl, and it could be a guy in that situation, all they hear is, I would be the one.
Yeah.
I would be the one.
So now
He's
they're
not
doing
ready
everything,
for it right now, but if he was, I would be the one. And they'll
Let me just wait around until he is ready. I'll make him ready.
It's a nightmare.
I don't want to keep someone on a string though ever too, you know? Like, I'll let you know what the deal is.
Because there's nothing wrong with focusing on a career. There's nothing wrong with remaining single. And just because you want to focus on your career and remain single doesn't mean you have to be a monk.
Yeah.
Truth.
Right?
I'm just doing Wim Hof breathing methods every morning. Just
What are things have you learned about yourself early and when you have been dating? I mean, granted that was 3 years ago, but you're still interacting with people. What are some things that you've learned about yourself that are important to you when you do find a relationship?
That's a good question. You know, I think being in relationships, it makes you reflect on who you are as a human, just outside of the significant other, obviously. But personally, I think it's that, like, I like to give an overly amount, so to speak. I feel like I always want the other person to be, like, in a better place than even me in the relationship. And sometimes I feel like I'll put them on a pedestal and, like, you know, focus on their happiness over my own sometimes. And so maybe that's why I've been straying away from relationships as of late, because I really want to focus on my personal happiness. And I just notice I'm such a giver. I just want to, you know, I always want them to have, not the upper hand, because, you know, a relationship's always mutual, but I just want them to, like, you know, whatever is going to make them happy, I want to make sure I'm doing that. And sometimes I'll sacrifice, I guess, my own happiness sometimes for that sake. And so, yeah, that's something I've learned. I'm trying to think. I mean, the last relationship I was in, it was quite a long distance one, and I noticed that I'm really not a fan of that. I don't think that it's a tough thing to juggle, you know, especially in these COVID times. It's like, you know, if you're not in the same market or, you know, the same geographical at least radius as your significant other, things can get weird. People get lonely, things get weird. I'm young, people do stupid shit when they're young, and yeah, it definitely wasn't for the better that this girl happened to be living, you know, 1,000 miles away. And so, of course, she would be visiting LA and whatnot, and I would be visiting her. But, you know, distance, I notice is definitely not for me either, in terms of relationships.
Yeah, I don't know if it's for anyone. It's almost kind of...
I don't know. Yeah. Truth.
Hey, if you can handle the distance, like, really props to you.
Well,
it's impressive.
It might be how relationship starts, but it's not sustainable. There has to be an out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think. Have you ever had your heart broken?
Yeah. Yeah,
Good.
Definitely.
Good. That's a good answer.
Yeah, it's tough shit. And like, I know that, like, I think, like, was I really in love with this girl? But then I'm like, if I'm feeling like this, I must have been, right? You know?
Does it? It's just feeling some sort of loss from someone, feeling vulnerable, I think is always good. I think sometimes people might look at you and go,
he's the heartbreaker.
He's the heartbreaker.
Oh, far from it. No, I'm telling you, like, I'm a very emotional guy, and, you know, when I fall hard, and you know, if things fizzle out for whatever reason it may be, even if it's like me who spurs the change and, you know, kind of ends things, I can still be heartbroken because of that too, you know? It's not necessarily just if, like, you know, the girl leaves me. Like, sometimes I'll be like, damn, like, should I have made this decision? You know, I second guess a lot. But I don't know, you know, I'm 24, I'm young. I guess I'm just kind of figuring out as I go. So hopefully it's all preparing me for my next relationship.
That's fine. One question I have, and I'm always curious. A lot of people talk about guy codes. You know,
guy code?
Real stuff.
Like
codes.
girl code?
I don't know. I don't know what girl code is. I'm not a girl.
Yeah, that's for you.
I know guy code.
It's an unwritten, you know,
but
guys don't know.
Before we started, you mentioned that you have 3 other roommates.
Yep.
So you're kind of living that quintessential young LA, got the boys.
Yeah, the boys.
Hanging out, being single. And I have a lot of friends. And I have a lot of great friends. And then I have, like, friends that are, like, you know, and then I have, like, friends I've met in LA. And I even have some buddies where I'm like, you're kind of a terrible guy.
Oh, yeah, you said you have friends that you won't hook up with your girlfriends who are saying, like, don't you have friends for me?
They're like, fine, they mean well, but I'm like, you are a shitty person.
You move shady. Yeah, no, it's...
What is your stance on this in terms of, you gotta, maybe he's not a roommate, but, like, where do you stand there in terms of, like, you see a friend, the guy code, he's doing his thing with his girl, and you don't want to be a narc, but have you ever called out a buddy for, I'm sure you've known some guy in LA who's pulled some shit, and you've, like, how do you go about that?
Well, it's weird because, you know, in terms of my roommates, like, these kids are like Greek god looking motherfuckers. Like, I'm, you know, I'm like at the bottom of the barrel in the pyramid in terms of, you know,
you're
just like first impression.
In the house?
Yeah, you know, I got to use my humor. I got to use my, I got to use alternative methods to get girls to like me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm living with these kids who, like, you know, they're in the gym 6 days a week, like, literally look like Greek gods, and I'm like,
play music.
Yeah, you know, exactly.
Yeah, you can sing. That wins over a muscle.
I'll take him in the studio, play a little, like, riff on the piano.
There you
and
go,
then,
done.
You know, I got to play my game a little differently. But either way, though, I think it depends, like, if the guy vocally says he's into this girl. You know, of course, there's definitely girls that me and one of my roommates have both hooked up with in the past, and there's no hard feelings about it because, you know, it's just more of a casual thing, and we don't see a future with this girl. It's not like we're actually truly in love with this girl. So I think it's just a matter about being vocal, and there's definitely been instances, though, where, you know, I've had friends, not necessarily my roommates, just move shady, and I've just seen them move in shady ways. And
move shady.
I love
move
that.
shady. Yeah.
Like, I literally just typed it.
Move shady. Brushing your teeth.
Or brushing.
Very important stuff, they say, as they say.
Yes.
I like sleek, sexy things. I do.
Do you?
I do like them sleek
like
and
what,
sexy.
Nicholas?
Like my toothbrush.
Oh, I didn't think you were going to go there.
Oh, it's long and stylish, and it vibrates at a pace that you will blow your mind. Brush is the toothbrush that you need. Cleans your teeth at 31,000 movements a minute. Wow. Manual toothbrushes top out at just 300.
I guess manual. You can't, like, do it that fast.
I'm also kind of impressed. 300. Many electric toothbrushes are barely a step up from manual. True that. Some do a good job, but cost $200 and up. Bruce delivers premier sonic wave technology without the markups. Big electric toothbrushes tax on.
It's got 6 cleaning modes.
6 cleaning modes. I use all 3. Best of all, it just looks good in my bathroom.
Yeah. I like that it has a tongue mode.
It's tongue mode. It's easy to travel with. It has a nice travel container whenever we do that again.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
I travel.
Get your Bruce electric toothbrush plus 3 brush heads, magnetic charging station, and a sleek travel case. Advanced features right out of the box. 6 cleaning modes, daily white, gentle gum, max, and tongue are the cleaning modes that they offer. Smart timer with quad pacer, 4-week battery life. 4 weeks, so you can get lazy for 4 weeks and it'll still work. So get 15% off your Bruce when you use promo code VIALL at Bruce.com. Try it 90 days risk-free and get a 2-year warranty. That's BRUUSH.com. Promo code VIALL. ShipStation. Hey, listen, we're constantly needing to mail things. Now more than ever, we're trying to run our businesses out of the comfort of our homes.
The holiday season is coming.
The holiday season is approaching. Get ahead on all the logistics that you're going to need to have a successful holiday season. ShipStation is kicking ass in this department. Natural Habits would not exist if it weren't for ShipStation. We use it every day to track all our inventories to maximize our customer service experience for our customers. They help with shipping costs. We ship USPS, FedEx, UPS. They work with all of those things. They have a very user-friendly app. I can't say enough about ShipStation and what it's done for Natural Habits. So if you are running a business, no matter how big or small, ShipStation can meet your needs. They even offer big discounts on shipping costs. Now, any business can access the same postage discounts. They are usually reserved for large Fortune 500 companies. You'll always know that you're getting the best deal. No wonder ShipStation is the #1 choice for online sellers. You'll ship more in less time with the best rates available. And now, the Viall listeners can try ShipStation free for 60 days when you use offer code VIALL.
60 days.
60 days. Wow. Make sure your business is ready to meet the demands of a massive online shopping season. Get started at ShipStation.com today. Click on the microphone at the top of the homepage and type in VIALL. That's ShipStation.com. Then enter offer code VIALL. ShipStation.com. Make ship happen.
Make ship happen.
You seem like you have a good pulse on things.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not the guy who's moving Shady. You're just you're a free agent.
I'm a free agent.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Writing music, writing passion. Let's talk about your new song that's out right now. Well, let's tell us about it. You're obviously, did you mention it's from the heart? It's very personal. Why is this different than some of the other stuff you've done?
Yeah. So this song "You Lie," it's wild because me and my best friend Jack, we're in a group called Jack and Jack, and we've always made music together. And in a sense, it's sometimes tough to compromise in terms of lyrics, in terms of songwriting, when we both haven't gone through necessarily the same experiences in terms of our relationships, and so sometimes we'll write a song all based off of something that he was going through or something I was going through. But now that we're diving into our solo endeavors and putting out our first solo tapes, it's been very liberating in terms of what I can talk about and the content I feel like I can talk about. And so this first song, "You Lie," it was very I heard the hook. My buddy Ryan and my buddy Cam and my homegirl Andrea, they had written this hook about a week prior to me going in the studio. And when I heard the female vocals on the hook, it reminded me a lot of Stand by Eminem. It was a very haunting, female melody. And then it goes into these kind of hard storytelling. And the verses weren't on there. And I saw that as an opportunity for me to really dive into some storytelling in terms of the verses. And I sort of channeled my most recent relationship and of course I'm not name dropping in there or anything, but it's funny. There is a line in the second verse where I reverse a guy's name that she may have done something with while I was on the road, and so it's this little Easter egg. And there's been fans trying to unreverse it and trying to figure out what the real name is that I said, because I was when I was on the road in Europe, you slide through, won't put him on blast, but I reversed his name, and then but it wasn't a true reverse, so you can't just reverse it and hear it. We really distorted it. And so, but to me it was just it's the first time where I feel like I can really just talk about what the hell is going on in my life and just be as transparent as possible. And at the end of the day, I think lyricism is what's going to take me really, really, really far in the music game, and that's going to be my bread and butter, so to speak. And so it's been a great opportunity, and "You Lie" I think is just starting. It's just skimming the surface of what is to come. So
that's very cool. And then Do you think from like a lyricist, you're gonna always try to use your own experiences in storytelling, or how much do you go from your own experiences, or maybe taking stuff from people around you, your circles, or do you find that it resonates better with your audience when it's coming from something that you've experienced personally?
Yeah, so definitely not. It does not have to be something personal. I mean, even in the past, like there's a specific song that me and G wrote about, you know, a girl being caught up in the club scene in LA, and, you know, like Sunday night church turned into One Oak type shit, and like, you know, just how you know, that can feel like almost like your religion, just going out every night and like that, getting caught up in that world, so to speak. And so we love writing things from other people's perspectives, and to me, it's a matter of whatever's inspiring me at any given moment, any given session. You know, it could be the next record we got coming out called Bad News. It's like, it's literally about the turmoil of the world right now. It's fully like a general umbrella record about just how the world has gone to shit in the last 8 to 10 months. And 2020 has just been a complete mayhem
it's been something
of a year. And so, you know, it's definitely not always personal experience. It could really be any given thing that could inspire me. But I think it's good to put yourself in other people's shoes in terms of songwriting. That's the only way you're really going to become better as a songwriter. And I want to write for other people as well in the future. And so, you know, I definitely want to, you know, make sure my perspectives are across the board, not just like talking about personal shit every time.
That is exciting, and it's you're blowing up. You obviously you're very passionate about what you do, and it sounds like very exciting. So I can't wait till you're the biggest music star in the world, and I'll be like, you got it, you know.
Yeah, I appreciate
you.
You
Came here.
You came here, or busting out like relationship advice. You're about to talk to some young women.
I'm excited.
Give advice to.
I don't know much. It's been 3 years since I've been in the game. You know what I'm saying? But
I feel like you just give this insider perspective. They're probably dating guys, you know, and not like you because you're better than that. But,
well, who knows?
But you know, we'll see if they're Roll Shady, Slim Shady,
Move Shady. We'll see if they're dealing with some shady movers.
We'll see if they're moving shady.
All right, Krishy, I hear you're obsessed.
I'm obsessed with Relief Band.
Tell us about it.
I went to Big Bear this weekend, and the road up to Big Bear is so curvy and so whatever. And I put the Relief Band on,
because usually
I went on a boat and I used it for that too, and it was like so good. It helped me so I can't
with motion sickness.
With motion sickness, because usually I'm taking pills for motion sickness, but this, and it's cool looking too.
Were you a skeptic when you first tried it?
I was a skeptic because I was like, how's this little disc underneath here going to make my nerves feel better or help me? But it's amazing. From the boat, from the driving, I can't.
She would text. She was texting me about it, and I was like, "I get it. Congratulations. You're not throwing up." She was super excited, and I was really excited for her. I have the worst motion sickness,
so this is like seriously like the best thing, the best friend of show ever. Like seriously, I can't. I'm so excited about throwing up.
I think that says enough. So don't fall for the cheap bands you find in drugstores or see all over your Instagram feeds. Reclaim your life from the fear of nausea. Right now, Relief Band has an exclusive offer just for Viall listeners. If you go to reliefband.com and use promo code VIALL, you'll receive 20% off. So head to RELIEFBAND.com and use promo code VIALL for 20% off. It will change your life because it's changed Krissy's. And she doesn't shut up about it.
It seriously works so good.
Question time with Nick. Let's ask Nick your sexy questions.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, what's your name?
My name's Bridget, and I'm 22.
How's it going?
Good.
How can we help?
So I am wondering, I have been in a 2-year relationship with my boyfriend, and he recently got into Illinois State Police Academy. And he's going to be gone every week for 6 months, but he'll be home on the weekends.
Okay.
And he won't have his phone at all. So, like, for the whole week, like, we won't be able to talk at all.
Okay.
And usually, like, we're super close and we hang out all the time. And, like, we have similar interests. So, like, we're always hanging out together. So, like, that's going to be a really hard change for us. But, he wants, like, reassurance, but doesn't really know, like, how he can be reassured, in a sense.
What do you mean by he wants reassurance? Like, what he's verbally expressing, I need to be reassured as I leave, that you're what? Reassurance about what?
So his like love language is by touch. So like hold my hand, or like if we're laying down, he's like, can you lay like on me, or just like things like that. So I'm like, well, my reassurance is like words of affirmation. So like he wrote me like this little notebook of like things that I can go back and look at and like be reassured in that sense. Great. But like I am wondering, since like I can't touch him, I won't be with him, what are like ways that I can reassure him that like we'll be like fine, it's just that we're going to be away from each other. And he's like, I don't have any reason not to trust you, that because nothing's ever really happened in our relationship. But there's
something like, I'm just curious, that's what I'm saying. I go back to like, what is he wanting you to reassure him about? Like, I get like, are you like, his love language is touch, and he like, you guys are both smart enough to realize him being gone, that he can't do that, and that sucks. Yeah. But what is causing him, and what specifically is he asking, like, other than the inconvenience of this, you know, he's making this choice and it's temporary, but like, what does he need to be reassured? Like you said, like, I trust you, but like, there's a but there.
Like has something happened like in the past is my question. Like,
well, the past 3 relationships that he's been in, he's been cheated on. Okay. So I think he's just worried that I'm not gonna like ghost you when you like, I'm not gonna see you. So then I'm just gonna ghost you and leave you. Like, that's not gonna happen. And I don't know what, cause mine, like I said, is words of affirmation, and like that just doesn't work for him. So like I just don't, like, from another guy's perspective, what's something that I could do, or like different ways that I could reassure him that like we're gonna be fine and nothing's like gonna happen.
Well, to a certain extent, I don't know if it's your job to reassure him in this situation, right? Only because like as you explain it, like you're limited. It's great that he's pursuing this career. Congratulations to him for doing this. And you know, you're how old is he?
23.
Yeah. So you guys are both young, and you're at a time in your life where you're making moves, right? You're taking some risks, and you have some things are going to be inconvenience because you're seeing the big picture, right? You know, the problem sometimes with relationships early in life is that you fall in love. You're just like, I want to spend all my time with you. And sometimes we have a way of limiting our own dreams because we're afraid of expanding our comfort zones to like follow our dreams. Like in a lot of situations, like for him, your boyfriend might be like, oh, I want to be a cop, but like, I don't want to leave you and I love you. So like, I won't go. And we convince ourselves that we really don't want to do this thing because we're scared to try. And like, good for him. He's doing this, right? But he's going to have to reassure himself to a certain degree. Like, like you said,
that's
words
true.
of affirmation are not his jam, but you could be touching him and cheating on him at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like you could be like, yeah, hugs, and you know, like, here, I'm going to touch your body. And like, when you're not, like, you know, to a certain degree, he has to learn to trust. He has to choose to trust you. It sucks that he's been cheated on before. And all you can say is, I'm either going to cheat on you or I'm not. And you're going to have to trust me. And at the end of the day, you're just going to have to do it. And if the worst thing that happens is I'm the 4th person who cheats on you, then, well, that sucks. But you know what I mean? There's not much you can do. To a certain degree, he's going to have to say, okay, well, I'm going to go do this. Otherwise, it's just going to be exhausting for both of you. Right? I mean.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a magic thing you can do. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think you definitely got to take advantage of those weekends that you are with each other too, you know? Like try and end those weekends on a high note every time, and, you know, just make sure by the time the next weekend rolls around, you know, the trust is just still there, which, you know, it should be. Based off, it sounds like you guys have had a healthy relationship for the last 2 years and nothing's gone weird. So, you know, as long as you're just spending those times together when he is home, I don't think you guys will have anything to worry about. But of course, he's conditioned, you know, his last 3 relationships went weird. So I get where his concern may come from, but if he trusts you, it's about the individual. It's not about the past. So, you know, he's got to,
And Jack, he hasn't gone yet, right?
No,
you're worrying in preparation. You know, like you're trying to get ahead of it.
Pre-worries.
I mean, listen, that shows that you care. That's a good thing. But kind of to Jack's point, okay, fine. Can't talk during the week. no problem for him because apparently he doesn't need to hear you speak. He only wants to, be touched by you. So like, he's fine, right? So when you do, are you going to be, is he flying home? Like how far of it, like you don't have to say where you live, but how long of a commute is it or on the weekends? Are you going to be seeing each other on the weekends or is it just being able to talk?
So it's 3 hours away from where we live.
Okay.
So
doable.
He'll either come home or like I'll go visit him.
So on the weekends, every Friday or Saturday morning, whatever it is, you're going to be fucking jacked and you're just going to be, no pun intended, super excited and just really anxious to see him. And you're going to touch him all over. And like, that's going to have to do it for him. You're in excitement and enthusiasm and you're going to be present. And, that's the thing. Like the thing that would like throw him off is you don't talk for all week. You don't hang out. And then all of a sudden, like you see each other on like Friday and you're just kind of like, awkward and distant and like your mind's somewhere else, then he's going to get insecure and weird about it. But if you're like just excited and thrilled to be there, I feel like that's going to be enough.
Could be a good thing, honestly.
Yeah.
The more I think about it, it's like, if you're, when you don't see your significant other for quite some time and then you reconnect with them and it's like you get those butterflies again, you're going to get that once a week, if things are going the way they're supposed to go. And so, it could be an opportunity for you guys to be even closer. And I think if he goes through the 6 months and you guys end up on a good note, the trust will be stronger than it's ever been, for sure.
But big picture wise, and I know you probably didn't even call in to get this, but I'm going to tell you, is that it's really important for you. It's not your fault or your problem that his ex has cheated on him. It's not, right?
I know, and that's what he said. He was like, it's not fair for me to feel this way about you because like you've never done anything for me not to trust you. I'm just telling you how I feel.
And that's good to a certain extent that he can express himself, right? And it's good that you are mindful that he had this and you love him enough to make him feel comfortable. But it's still like not your problem in the sense you can't make up for it, right? You can't do anything to take away the past and you can't overcompensate, and nor should you want to overcompensate for the things that happened to him. All you can do is be a trusting, loyal girlfriend and be mindful of the things that he needs, but you just don't want to overcompensate. So that I'm saying, do all the things that we just talked about, and that should be enough.
I graduated with a psych major, so I'm like, what can I do to help you?
Yeah, try not to do too much.
But yeah, that's
like,
to that point, that's very real.
Like,
if you do too much to seem like you are being loyal, it kind of would raise, like for me, it would raise a red flag. I'd be like, why is she like claiming that she's just been inside every single day while I've been gone? Like, I think, you just got to live your life and as Nick said, you can't let his past relationships haunt your guys' relationship. You're a new person, you're a new individual, and I think you guys got this.
I was like, I feel good, and like this is something you're doing. Like I'm reassured through words of affirmation, so like I want to find a way that works for you because I also want you to feel that comfort that I feel, and not have you feel uncomfortable in a sense. But
he might have to go through a period of discomfort. Right. This could, like to Jack's point, this could be the thing that gets him over his trust issues because you guys go through this.
Yeah.
You stay together. Relationships, there must be some difficult periods. There's no sign that you're unfaithful. In fact, he feels closer to you than ever. And now he's just like, my girlfriend was off. I was off the grid. She was doing her thing, and I didn't worry about it at all. And then those past relationships become less and less a part of his kind of bank of memories when it comes to relationships. And I think, when this is all said and done, he'll be like, wow, I really had nothing to worry about, and you're not my, so that's going to be a positive thing. So, all right.
Yeah.
Good luck. I think you're going to be fine.
Yeah, thank
you.
A
lot of touching on the weekends.
Yeah, you got this.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's going to be great.
See you later, Bridget.
Okay. Bye. Thank you.
How's it going?
Hi, I'm Taylor. I'm 23.
Hi, Taylor. How can we help?
So just to give you a little bit of a background, I recently had a breast reduction surgery. Today's my 2 weeks post-op.
Congrats.
And so thank you. So I'm just looking just for some guys' perspective on how to navigate dating, specifically with apps. Some of my main concerns are that while all my pictures are recent, they're not technically what I look like anymore. So I'm concerned I might be false advertising to guys, you know, if I do end up meeting them.
How different are we?
It's pretty significant.
Cup size, 2 cup size.
I would say probably 4 or 5 cups.
I don't know how to. I'm looking at you now, and it's like it's not like.
They're still fairly big now, but
so you got nothing to worry about. You know what I'm saying?
Well, not even, regardless of size.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
saying, like, what? Okay, but they're. Do you think that's more in your head?
Maybe. I think, you know, because they were the first things that, you know, especially guys notice about me, you know, on my dating profile would definitely accentuate them. So a lot of my pictures, you know, they were maybe like the main feature of the picture. So
you can update pictures on dating apps.
Right. So if you met someone and you thought that they, you know, had really large breasts and then you met them, they didn't, you wouldn't think that's weird, or maybe that I was catfishing them.
Why don't you just update all your photos?
All of the photos?
Well, do you have like such good photos that you're just like, oh, this looks so good here?
No, but, you know, some of them, I'm on a hike. Maybe I like to show that I like hiking, or, you know, stuff like that.
Don't you want to go hiking again?
But she's 2 weeks out of surgery.
I have to do. I'm 2 weeks post-op, so it's going to be a while before I can, you know, go out and do things. But I just didn't know from like a male's perspective.
From a male's perspective, and I don't want to speak for Jack. You can chime in here. I don't really care if you hike or not. So like,
that's what we're talking about. Yeah, you know, I'm more of a beach guy, anyways. So, you know.
Okay, beach pictures.
I mean, I'm just wondering I wonder if it's more in your head. If it's like,
it might be more in my head. Yeah.
You also mentioned that like you have this like this fear too, that because of the surgery now you're gonna have like some scars and stuff like that, and then like you feel like you're gonna have to like talk about that, and when you're getting intimate, that would make you nervous.
Yeah, that's another. What are some? Do you have other insecurities regarding the?
Yeah, so my other insecurities are like it's gonna take a long time, you know, months up to like a full year to fully heal. Mm-hmm. So being intimate will be really different. So I'm kind of concerned with like, how do I bring it up to guys? When would be an appropriate time to bring it up to someone? I feel like a first date is kind of too soon, but at the same time, you know, already in the bedroom seems too late to have that conversation.
I think my personal opinion on this, it's about your needs and not about theirs.
Right.
They're guys. They'll be fine.
You could literally bring it up whenever, and I don't think anyone's gonna bat an eye. And I think getting it out of the way early, it's like, you know, like it'll be a good gauge of like if this guy, you know, actually cares or not. I mean, like about you as a person versus, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
and that's
I've hooked up and had sex with women who've had breast reduction surgery, and the scars you speak of, I saw, and at the time I didn't know what I was seeing. Like, I didn't know that was from a breast reduction surgery. I'm
sure you would have liked to have.
I gotta say, in the moment, could have cared less.
Okay, interesting.
Great looking boobs. Yeah. These are wonderful. Apparently, you've had some sort of procedure. Great job, doctor.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, you know, I was fine. And
it was fine.
I can't speak for every guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, certainly there's an occasional asshole out there who might make you feel
there are
judged or ask an awkward question. And also, sometimes guys are just fucking awkward, right? They just might say something because they don't know what to say and are awkward about it. And it's just, you know, certainly something you may come to deal with. And the reason I say that is because there are so many different guys out there, and people handled these situations differently. So all you can really do is just do what you are most comfortable with. God, you don't need to. Do not worry about them and making sure they're okay and what's appropriate. If you happen to go out with a guy and have a great first date and you have a one-night stand, if you want to say something, fine. But honestly, I wouldn't feel like you have to.
I wouldn't care personally from my perspective too. Like, if, you know.
What do you have a face, Chrissy?
Well, just because, like, and this might be an overshare, like, that sounds great in theory. But from a girl, so I've had breast cancer. For me, I have like the kind of the same insecurities, but I always feel like the same way. Like it's always like you have to like figure out how to explain yourself, and it's always the most awkward conversation.
I'm not saying don't share or share, but if it makes you feel more comfortable by putting it out there, then do that, right? I just think there's a big difference between what is your motivation for sharing. If you want to make sure they're okay, I don't think you should do that. If it makes you feel comfortable, then I just think there's such a subtle difference in why you're doing it. If don't worry about them being comfortable. They're getting laid. They'll be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're comfortable.
I think my main concern about bringing it up is like, because I'm so early on in the healing process, like you do have to be really mindful that I'm still healing, and like my scars are still, and my incisions are still quite delicate. So it's mostly for them to know, like, you have to be a little gentle with me.
Have any guy like waiting to hop in the sack, or what are you just are you all horned up, or can't you just wait a little bit?
I mean, it could take months, so I don't know if you like. That seems kind of long for me. I get it.
Quarantine's lonely, It's
time. So it could take, like I said, like it's gonna take up to a whole year to be fully 100% healed. So I don't think waiting that whole year it's in the picture, but I could wait longer, totally for sure.
So again, this all comes down to how you feel, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to stress, I just don't think you should put a lot of energy, because I say this because I hear this a lot. Well, I just want to make sure he's okay, and I don't want to make him uncomfortable. It's like, he'll be fine. So whatever you do to make him comfortable. So in this stage of healing, right? Yeah. Fine. Maybe you go at a slightly slower pace than you otherwise would, right? So you don't bring it up at the first date. And if you aren't comfortable talking about it on the first date, maybe you wait to a second or third date to hook up or be intimate or whatever. Right? You just go a little slower, right? And so you do that because you feel more comfortable bringing it up. You don't want to have this conversation with every guy that you might go out with. And so you wait a little bit longer, right? Just
totally
go a little slower pace, Yeah. And if you run into a situation where a guy handles it poorly, that's his problem. Just know that it's going to happen. Just know that you're just going to deal with some guy who says or does something the wrong way. It makes you feel not good about yourself. And
screw that dude.
Yeah, just know that like that's not on you. That's just like some guys are just usually comes out of awkwardness. Weirdness.
Totally. I'm trying to think from the flip perspective though. Like if I like had some scars going across my shaft or something, how would I approach a girl about it? You know what I'm saying?
Ball.
If I had like one ball. If I had some like, something going on down there, like how would I go about it? And I'm trying to think, I definitely get like, where your concern comes from.
And I think my final concern is, I think almost every single guy I've talked to is like, oh my gosh, why would you do this? Like, you slapped God in the face. Like, they were so nice before, and like now they're so much smaller. So how do I answer? I get they're just joking and they don't really mean that, but how do I answer that question?
You don't.
Yeah.
It's a personal decision. You did this for you.
Yeah, you don't. That's the thing. It's either at best they're quote unquote joking insensitively, and at worst they're just ignorant dicks. And listen, come on, I'm sure I've said something stupid to a girl, so I'm not sitting here like on my high horse, but you don't need, if you want to, what do you say? It's just like, well, you just ignore. I honestly would just ignore them. Don't feel like you have to. And that's the thing. It's just like, do what makes you feel comfortable. Don't feel like you need to justify your decision to these guys. And again, looks like you're still doing just fine in that department. Like,
thanks.
And as Jack pointed out, it's all, some guys, everyone's different. Some guys like bigger boobs, some guys like smaller boobs, some guys like medium, some guys don't care about boobs. If you're just talking about physical attraction from guys, it all varies. So don't waste a lot of energy, emotional energy, trying to make sure that you've, are making every guy comfortable and satisfied. Because, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, chances are they don't really care or mind, at least.
100%.
I can assure you that the guy you meet who falls for you is not going to unfall for you because of any scars or your not as large breasts.
Yeah, of course.
He'll probably just be super thrilled.
I guess, yeah, maybe as girls, we think it matters more than it does. Guys, I guess, don't really care about things like stretch marks and scars and whatnot as much as we think they do.
Definitely not. I mean, that's just speaking from a personal perspective, but, like, this seems like something so menial that, like, any guy who's actually, a good dude, like, just wouldn't really give a shit.
He won't care.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
All right. Well, best of luck, Taylor.
Okay. Thank you so much, Nick.
Yeah,
Thanks,
bye-bye.
Jack.
Have a good one.
Chrissy.
How's it going?
It's going.
What's your name?
Mary, 27.
Hi, Mary.
How's it going,
Mary, 27. How can we help, Mary?
All right. So I have this boyfriend that I've been seeing for about 4 years, and he's great, except for when we fight. And it could be the smallest thing. It could be the biggest thing. He has this issue with, like, yelling at me, and he'll get, like, really mean.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't talk to him like this. I don't talk to really anybody like this. So, like, and it's something that, like, I always will, like, bring up, or, like, we'll argue about it, because the thing is that I'm not going to let anybody talk to me like that. So it's almost like he's the type to, like, wanna, like, say whatever he wants and shit. And then as soon as it comes to me, it's like the second I respond negatively or express any type of emotion, it's almost like it's an immediate fight. Like, he just hates when I have emotions. And then it's like, especially if it's like, it could be, like I said, I mean, girlfriends whine about dumb shit. The most recent incident, which is when I wrote into you guys, is when I worked all week and he was out on the boat with his dad. And, like, dude, I get it, like, fishing, like, I get it. But, like, it's been something that, like, I've brought to his attention. Like, I wanted to go out on the boat, like, all summer. It didn't happen. Cool, that's fine. And literally, that's all it was. It was just, like, me whining about, like, how I, just, like, whatever. And he just immediately was just like, you're selfish, and I can't believe you would say something. And he kind of just, like, hung up in my face. And, like, I just didn't understand why his energy was so up there when, like, I was literally, it wasn't that serious to me, but apparently to him.
To summarize, your wonderful boyfriend, according to you.
Yeah. This is literally his only thing. He's great, other than he has, like, this short ass fuse, and I just don't get it.
But how often
and, like,
does this happen?
Enough to where, like, it could be anything, dude. Like, I'm talking about the smallest thing. Anything will make him snap. Like, he just be snapping on me, and I just don't understand if he just, like, maybe bipolar. And then, like, this is the weird thing, is he wants to act like everything's fine, and, like, I don't, I'm human, I'm gonna get upset, especially when people take it, like, are a little bit out of pocket sometimes. I just don't understand that.
Do you feel is it safe to say that at this point in the relationship, you feel very uncomfortable or are walking on eggshells expressing yourself about anything when it regards to him?
Yes. So it kind of seems like, I mean, yes and no. So, like, it seems like anytime I have, and like I said, it could be anything. If I express, if he feels at all, he's very defensive. And that's another thing. It's like, I just don't get it. Because it's like, I don't understand why you would be that defensive towards your girlfriend. It's almost as if, like, he throws out the fact that we're dating. And, like, it's honestly kind of like how you would treat a homie or, like, somebody that you're pissed off about outside of, like, the scope of dating them. It's like, I don't know, sometimes he just loses that lens, and it's like, dude, you can't talk. Like, and the thing is, he's so nice. Like, if you ask anybody, it's like, he's this great, kind guy to literally everyone. But when it comes to me, that kind of just, and like I said, he could be really moody. I don't fucking get it. It just, but I at this point, I don't really know what to do, how to communicate to him how hurtful this is when he gets like this.
But
like
I'm assuming you have communicated it with him, yeah?
But dude, it's like, I don't, and let me tell you how that goes, is like, I'll literally say exactly what I'm telling you guys. Yeah. Like, it's upsetting, it's this, and he's always just kind of like, fucking figure it out. And the thing is, he doesn't really have anything to really say to me.
So he makes it feel like it's a you problem.
Yeah, and he's not the type to say sorry. He'll like say I'm sensitive and like call me a baby and like all this fucking shit. But it's like, dude, nobody's gonna be okay with somebody speaking to them like that, especially their boyfriend.
So why? I mean, so you opened up with saying, you know, and people do this a lot, right? You're not the only one, but you're like, oh, he's great, but he's not great. Your boyfriend's not great. Just heads up. Like, he's fine, maybe. I don't know. He might have some great qualities, but when you describe your boyfriend, right? And you're like, well, how's your boyfriend? And you're like, he's great. He's not great. Like this, if you're going to describe someone with a single word, he does not deserve the great title, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes great would be, you know, and borderline bad, right? I mean,
right.
Communication is arguably the number one most important quality in a relationship, right? Communication styles and how you guys.
For sure.
This is how he communicates with you. It's irrelevant how he communicates with everyone else, right? How does he communicate with you? How can anyone be in a relationship where they feel borderline scared to express themselves? Who when you do express yourself, he gaslights you and makes you feel like it's a you problem that you have to figure out, and he takes no responsibility for any of this. I mean, does it matter? Like, if someone was a serial killer and murdered people, would it matter how nice they were to everyone else?
Well, that's a good one.
You're right.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
You just gotta, I get you care about the guy, and I get that, you know, there's things that you like about him, but you're completely discounting yourself, you know? You're completely discounting how he makes you feel. You know, when people like to describe their boyfriends or girlfriends, it's like, oh, they're great or whatever. But how does he make you feel? That should be like the number one question we ask ourselves when we want to describe our partners to people. So instead of saying like broadly, like, oh, they're great, like as a generalization, you ask yourself, how does this person make you feel? And then that's how you should describe them to people. So
I mean, he is sweet. He's sweet. He's attentive. He's like, I mean, like, we're like best friends, you know? And that's the thing. Another thing too, is like, is he just too comfortable with just like, you know, just like, just kind of being a dick to me? I just like, is this a part of like, and that's the thing. It's like, I don't know. Cause one, I've never like dated somebody this long. And then like two, he's never actually been in a relationship before me. And
but those are all excuses you're making for him.
And that's, well, maybe it does, you know what? And maybe they are excuses, but like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't fucking know. I don't know at this point.
Well, listen, all you can do is express how you feel, which you have. And his way of going about it is to tell you that's your problem.
I'm curious. I need to pry here and play devil's advocate and just ask some questions though. How like one-sided are these shouting matches? Because I've been really close to like relationships where, not everything like you see is exactly the way it is, and so is it like is he always the aggressor? Are you shouting back? Is it like a very toxic mutual thing, or is it him starting this shit every single time? Is it frequent? Like, I'm just curious, I guess, more about the scope of the situation.
So he's just like on tip. Like, it could be, like I said, I like literally whined about not being able to go on the boat the other day with him and his dad, and he was just like it was almost like, how dare you even have the thought of like coming with me? Like, that's me and my dad. That's my dad. It's like, oh my God.
So he's easily triggered, it sounds like. Very easily triggered.
Very, very easily triggered. And then I think the most recent time before this was like, I asked him for something before I went out with a friend. And he was just kind of like being stingy. And I'm like, okay, well, like, you know, it's not a big deal. But like I said, he brought that aggression, that like energy where like it really it doesn't have to be a thing, but like it seems like it always is with him. Like, he's just, I don't, and then a part of me is like, does he hate being a boyfriend? Like,
how
it
old
seems
is
like
he?
every time he has to like, he's 26.
I'm so confused how you can talk and then this conversation that we're having, and then like at the same time you're like, but he's the sweetest. Like, I'm so confused.
But no,
this
I do
happens
get
a lot.
I do get it though. I've seen this firsthand with like some of my best friends, and like, you know, they're very toxic at times with their significant others, and there'll just be constant shouting battles and matches, and then, you know, they can be, you know, all like mushy, you know, like talking in baby voice, and the next day, and it's
You just described this.
That's what I'm saying though. I've seen it firsthand, and I mean, every single time I've been around an instance like that, it's never ended well, unless you can find a way to get through it and get past it. But if it's a recurring thing, it's like, you know, either you guys got to figure it out. If it's that recurring, like, you really got to put your best foot forward and tell him how you feel. And it's like, either you fix this shit or like you gotta leave this dude. Like, you can't be just putting yourself through this turmoil.
Let me ask you this: if I were like a genie and I was like, listen, it's married. This will never get better. Like, this specific issue that you have with him will never improve. Are you okay with that?
Well, I feel like respect is literally fucking non-negotiable. It's human decency. It's like, you don't fucking talk. You just don't talk to people like that. So when he's going, and like I said, it's not name calling, but it's like the way he speaks to me is just, it's just
I think we
rude,
all.
dude.
I think I've dated people like that, and it sounds like Jack. We can kind of get an idea of the type of things and the gaslighting and this going at you and the defensiveness, like the highly emotional person. But that's not an excuse, for sure. You know, like someone like, well, he's just emotional. Like, okay, well, stop being emotional. People can control their emotions, and if they can't, then that's when they like lose people they say they love. But I think you need to go about this for yourself. Is you need to stop prefacing his behavior with "he's great, but," right? I'm not saying everything about him is terrible, right?
No, I know.
But stop dismissing it by prefacing it with like compliments and like feel good adjectives to describe his behavior. And I think you need to start going about your relationship considering the possibility this will never change. And based on what you're telling me, I would guess it's not going to change, because when you do express it to him, he doesn't take any accountability. He doesn't even pretend to apologize. What he does is makes it feel like it's your fault for even having an issue or bringing whatever it is up you want to bring up. You're not. How could it's an emotional prison to live in every relationship has conflict and confusion and misunderstanding and you have different expectations. Like, there's nothing wrong with him valuing his time with his father, right? There's nothing wrong with not being on the same page with you in terms of like how he spends his time with his dad versus like how you want to. There's nothing wrong with that. He has the right to. No,
for sure.
Right? There is something totally wrong with how he responds to you expressing yourself and assuming like you're doing it in a respectful, polite way, and you're not like, and I don't want to be accusing you of anything, but kind of to Jack's question, is there anything you could be doing that triggers him? Like, are you name calling him? Are you doing it?
That's like a huge no.
Yeah.
The thing is like, no. And
so you're just like a normal like girlfriend, just like, hey, boyfriend.
I can tell when he gets aggressive though. I can tell like you probably like pipe back up on him, I'm assuming, right?
No.
After the fact.
The thing is though, I wish.
Or is it just fully him going on a tirade on you?
He literally, that day, this was Friday, he literally hung up in my face. And then like we were texting, but like he was also busy. So it's like I'm literally sitting there by my phone, like fired up, obviously. Because I'm like, why the fuck did he hang up on me?
Yeah, but you're going to just,
it was...
I got to give some tough love here. I'm worried for you because it's not like, and I get it. It's hard. Trust me, this is an emotionally toxic relationship.
Yeah, I've seen this shit and it
not
doesn't get better.
Okay. And now you're in this basically kind of, you're stuck, for whatever reason, loving all these things about him, calling him your best friend. I mean, that's not a best friend.
It's I wish I could tell you there was something else, but this is it. And like I said, it is something that like I don't know if I can accept. And that's why this is so hard for me, because I'm just like, I know that this is just unacceptable for me, and that's why it keeps coming back up, because I'm going to check him every single time. And when I say that, it's not like we're not screaming. I'm just literally trying to like explain to him. And then he's just like, you're a fucking baby, get the fuck over it. And it's just like, oh my God. So, but I feel like he's also just,
you're talking to us like Chrissy said, and And I know it's easy for us on our end, because
I
for
know.
us, we're saying here, like, well, that's a non-negotiable, like, end it now. You know, I understand there's
insane.
other things. You love them, you care about them, you'd miss them, you'd be sad.
Are you guys on and
sure.
off? I'm curious. Are you guys like, have you like
No.
split up because of these things
Dude,
before
no.
and get back
And
together constantly?
no.
It's not like that type of
he
situation.
doesn't believe
not
that
like
you're going
that.
to end it. You know, it's like this thing. Honestly, I think you just need to try to remove yourself. It's not, I don't see this getting better anytime
It
soon.
won't. Definitely won't.
Or ever.
And I've had that thought, even just like to like take a break and just to see. But I also feel like, I don't know. I don't think
I don't really think a break's going to work, because here's what's going to happen, right? You're going to break up
he's
with
super
him.
fine. Yeah, go ahead.
There's a good chance you break up with him. He freaks out.
Okay.
He starts apologizing for the first time ever. He promises he's going to change. And very convincingly is
Reels
just like,
you.
you know, and then like 2 months after you get back together, like he's only going to change for himself. You need to be gone out of his life. You break up, you can't treat me like this. He's like, he apologized. You're like, nope, still gone. Bye. And like, then he has to really see it, really want to be different for someone he's never met yet, and honestly change on his own, which will be like a couple of years in the making. So
That sounds like it fucking sucks.
It's
it
still
does.
it's still a
And
dangerous
that's
game.
yeah,
too,
it
though. It's-
sucks. It sucks because you do care about him. I understand. And that means that when you decide to break up with him, you're going to lose him, and that's going to make you sad. And I am sorry for that. And that's an emotional process you're going to have to go through. But
Yeah, I
like the
understand.
alternative is being in a relationship that you invest so much time and emotional energy to, and referring to someone as a best friend who makes you feel shitty about yourself and questions your literal sanity, because you're just like, wait, what? I asked a question. What did I do wrong? And you start like questioning yourself, and like you're,
Yeah.
and like you can really damage yourself emotionally. And like, that's not like that. So yeah, right now in this moment, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like,
Yeah,
right.
for sure.
Because you know, you shouldn't be treated this way, but you know, you value him and you would miss him. And I'm sorry for that, but it's a lesser of two evils. You're stuck because you're still resistant to knowing. It's like, you know what you should do, but you're going to have a hard time doing it. And I'm just trying to fill you with ammunition.
It's true. You're blinded
So-
by the great days. You're blinded by the good moments, you know, but you can't let those moments blind you.
Dude. I don't think I've ever like broken up with somebody in the most healthiest way either. Like I usually just end up like never saying anything again, and my way of like, okay, you hurt me, you can deal with me like a death now. And
I
just
mean,
kinda
I don't think you have
just
to give
go-
him some long, drawn out explanation. Just be like, hey, listen, I don't like the way you make me feel. I'm going to end things. Best of luck.
Yeah.
What do you know?
Yeah.
Don't ghost him. Just give him a reason, and you don't have to explain yourself. He doesn't deserve much. You know, just let him know.
For
Hey,
sure.
I told you I was going to do this. Bye.
It's obviously easier said than done.
Also,
but yeah.
because this is such a toxic environment, you could argue that like maybe you need to take extreme measures. You know, if this is a guy who talks to you in a certain way when he doesn't like what you have to hear, then well, I'm not like a big believer in ghosting, but I think right now you need to worry and protect yourself and protect your well-being. And like he's done things that allow you to not have to give him any benefit of the doubt. It's just like you just need to get out. You know?
Yeah, you're right. For sure.
So
That
I'm
was a
sorry.
fart noise
It
for the
sucks.
viewers.
You're gonna be
Sorry.
sad, and I get it. But you'll feel better about yourself knowing that you know your own self-worth. You knew, you know, despite this hot guy, whatever, like you were better than that, and you were gonna put up with it, and you can learn from it in the future. And you're still young, and you're still killing it, and it'll be a good story to tell. And you can look out for all your friends who experience the same things. But
Yeah, I feel like I'm not the only one. But also, like, really quick, his mom, me and his mom bond over this because his dad's very fucking similar, I guess.
well, there you go.
It's genetic.
Fine, but like, don't get sucked into the relationship because I was a bond with my mom or his mom about this. Like, that's unfortunately just a hook that you have to unhook.
I
It's
know
his
you're
mom,
right.
not yours.
You're right.
So say goodbye to her. And
Yeah.
that's just all you said is another reason to break up with him. So not going to get better, like I said. Clearly, this is like
You're
a
right.
habitual thing he's learned from
It is.
his father.
Maybe.
And he probably doesn't
for
see it's a
sure.
problem
He
because,
probably grew up around it. He probably
Grew up
became
around it.
conditioned, you know.
but he knows it's a problem because he can control it around other people. Dangerous guy.
Yeah.
Dangerous guy.
For sure.
All right. Well, best of luck, Mary. I wish
thanks.
you all the best, and I really hope that you protect yourself and put yourself in a more healthy situation. And
I appreciate the input.
count
Thank
on
you
your
guys
friends
so
and
much.
ask for their support, and get out as soon as you can.
For sure.
All right.
Alrighty.
All right. Take
Thank
care.
you.
All
Nice
right.
talking to you, Mary.
Yeah.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Jack, this has been a ton of fun.
So much fun, man. She seemed like she was about to cry at the end there. Oh, I felt terrible.
She'll be all right.
She'll be
I hope
good.
she. Yeah, listen, it's one of those, like, that was a sad story
Oh, that was a
because
deep
she's
one.
stuck, and I feel for her. And
Emotionally stuck for sure.
he's done a number on her, but
This was fun, though.
dating's tough, man, and I appreciate you coming on, sharing some insights.
Of course, brother. Anytime.
The world needs more. Obviously, we know good guys out there.
Yeah, he's a natural. This one.
Remind people all the great things you're doing, where they can find your single. Where everyone knows on social, but for the people who don't,
All right, I'll do my little plug. So my first single, "You Lie," is out right now. Ton of music around the corner. Actually, I think I was telling you earlier. Me and my buddies are starting a podcast. We got to get you on there for sure to get some love guru advice. Cause
happy to come on.
you made this easy for me. You made this so easy for me. But yeah, just a lot of stuff around the corner. Thanks to everybody for watching and for tuning in. And yeah, appreciate you, Nick.
Jack, I really appreciate it. It's been a ton of fun. Guys, thanks for listening. As always, don't forget to send your questions at asknick@castmedia.com. Cast with a K. Thanks for listening. We will see you back on Wednesday.
We'll see who it is.
For a special guest. Surprise. Other than that, have a great day.